Yes, we are live again and we are happy you are with us. My goodness. My goodness, my goodness, my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is a wonderful show today. We have an interesting topic, as you can already tell. We want to talk about this, and we actually need more people with us to talk about this. You know, if you are actually so convinced you want to be actually on the live, we have the capacity to bring you on live, video wise. As a matter of fact, you know, your boy is not that great with tech, but we could try if you really are convinced you want to come on video. But at least I need you to be ready with comments and questions and contributions here, because this is something that is very important. So as we move forward, we just want to welcome everybody who has joined and who is going to join us there on the replay to the Life and Health Show. And we will before we go to today's topic, we just want to remind you that we talk about health, we talk about anything concerning life. In particular, we want to tell you about today's or this week's health tip. And the health tip is that if you are over the age of 30 and you are a lady and you haven't had your mammogram done in terms of cancer screening, you got to go out there and make it happen right now. If you are a man and you haven't had colonoscopy done and you are over the age of 45, as a matter of fact, a man or a woman over the age of 45, you haven't had colonoscopy done, you got to make an appointment and get that checked. And if you are a woman, you had your breast self exam and you did it at age 30 and it's been some time, you can go back again. You got to go back, because this weekend was a sad story in our area. We had to attend a funeral of one of our beloved women. And there are certain things that we can do to help us to detect diseases early and to have them treated. So that's our health tip for the week. We want to remind you to do your screenings, especially things that you have control over. Colonoscopy, breast self-exam, breast mammogram, as well as other cancer screenings that you can take care of this year before things get bad. All right, so that is your health tip for the week. And we want to say, we believe, yes, because we believe you guys are listening. All right, so before we move ahead, I also ask that you please share the stream, click the thumbs button, click the like button, and ensure that we roll together, because we have, like I said, a very interesting discussion today, and we just don't want to do it only by ourselves. We need you to be involved. So share the stream, like the stream, and ensure that we roll together. All right, with that being said, what are we talking about today? Today, our topic is when love turns deadly. Oh my goodness, when love turns deadly. Honey, the topic is huge. When can love really turn deadly? We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. What
deadly, I think, is kind of a strong word.
It's a strong word,
deadly.
Right? Yeah.
Going from love to death is huge.
It's huge. Because, like in the bottom of this of the main topic, there it says lovers turned enemies. So loved ones becoming enemies. People who fell in love or who fall in love, who profess to be deeply in love, but after some time, you see them become enemies, like enemies. And that's what we're going to discuss, how that happens or why that happens sometimes, and who is at risk, and what are some of the things that we can do to prevent that from happening. If you are in a relationship, what are some of the things that we may see? We may say that it sounds too far to be true, but we have examples on this live to show you, and I'm trusting that you will stick to the show to the end of the show, and then you will see why we are saying what we are saying, because we have some real life examples to show you, and they are going to make you surprised because of what we actually are going to talk about.
So like thinking of like two extremes, right? Two strong emotions turning from being lovers to being enemies.
That is huge.
That is like extreme ends. So we are going to talk about how that can be possible in a relationship.
It does happen, yeah. And I mean, we have 3 videos. Let's see if we can actually talk about what we are going to say in our summary. So in our summary, we're going to talk about we're going to watch 3 videos, right? And the videos we are going to watch will tell us, will give you an idea what we're talking about. If what we are saying is not true, we would definitely know by the end of watching those videos. We're going to watch those videos with you together and then talk about them. Some of them just happened in the US. There's one that happened somewhere, I think, either in Nigeria or in Ghana. So we're going to see real life examples, like as I'm saying. And then also in this show, we are going to talk about some potential reasons why lovers become enemies. And
we also talk about early signs that can lead to toxic relationships.
And then we can also talk about what we can do to prevent this from happening. If you are in a relationship, or if you see somebody in a relationship that you care about, what are some of the things that you can help them to do? I'm hoping that you are in a relationship of some sort. And so what are some of the things that you can also do to prevent this from happening, from being a lover to being an enemy and having deadly consequences? That's what we're going to do. So with that being said, I want us to watch these videos, the 3 videos that we have here for you to watch. The first one is, they may not be in the order, but at least we're going to watch a video about a woman who kills boyfriend for cheating. That happened in the United States. My goodness. My goodness. Boyfriend, this is not even a husband or anything that serious, but a woman has killed their boyfriend because they cheated, right? And then
the second one, we are going to talk about husband who pulled down beautiful building, very nice building on the wife's land, just to destroy the building because the land belongs to the woman.
My goodness, my goodness, my goodness. And then the next one, we're also going to talk about a dentist who poisoned, oh my goodness, who poisoned the wife to death using a poison called arsenic. And these stories are fairly new. They are not like crazy old stories. These are happening. If you Google right now, or if you follow the news, you see these stories. So as a matter of fact, some of the videos we're going to show you are news clips that we got from some channels. So we are going to be quiet. We just want you to watch and listen carefully to these videos. We're going to do them one at a time. We'll talk about it a little bit. And then after that, we'll regroup and talk throughout the entire rest of the video about how to avoid it, what are some of the signs and all those things that we alluded to. So give me a minute while I load that video right now. All right, so we are going to watch it now. All right, so now I think you saw the video with us. We're going to talk about this right quick, and then we'll go to the next video. So basically, the story behind this video is that this potentially expensive house was pulled down. It was broken down to the ground, as you saw in the video, because the husband that owned the house had divorced the wife who owned the plot of land. And because of that disagreement or the divorce, they took the matter to the courts. The wife had owned the plot, the husband owned the building. So the court, according to sources that we saw, the court decided, or the judge, whoever was in charge of the case, told the couple that each one should go and possess what they own. So the husband should go and take ownership of his house, and the wife should go and take ownership of her plot of land. And I'm thinking that, honey, this this judge was probably trying to play Solomon. You remember how Solomon, you know the story I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Remember how King Solomon, when he was ruling, he said that for this child that you two ladies are fighting over, I'm going to kill the child, cut him in two, and then give each woman a portion of the baby. And the woman that loved the child, who owned the child, said, no, king, don't kill the child because he's better off alive. So I'm pretty sure.
So I think the judge was hoping that maybe they will come to an agreement. Because look at this building, it's so beautiful and it's so expensive. So our house is not even close to this level.
No.
And we know how much we are putting money in. And look at this nice and beautiful building being just destroyed because of misunderstanding. So I think the judge was hoping that maybe they will come to an agreement. And maybe the husband may let it go, or maybe the wife may let it go. But because of misunderstanding, one have to take the house off the building, off the land, and the land belongs to the wife. So I don't know why anybody can get to that point to waste so much money just because of disagreement or misunderstanding between the two.
Right. That's exactly what happened. So this beautiful house that you see came down. The house came down. Why? Because the couple who were first or initially married, no longer together, decided that if there was divorce, I don't like you anymore. And in fact, I hate you so much that this whole nice building, I'm going to let you tear it down off my plot of land. And the husband, who also owned the building, the wife who owned the building,
the land,
the land, could not say that take the land. After all, what is land? Keep the land. They didn't say that. That is how resentful they were to each other. And that's why we're saying that it could be deadly. Now, in this case, nobody died, all right? But but in another one that we will see, somebody may die. And that is exactly what we don't expect to happen. So we are going to watch this other video. And
1 month from now, on April 10th, a woman named Sarah Boone will go on trial for allegedly zipping her boyfriend into a suitcase back in 2020. She recorded his pleas for help and then let him die. We're going to show you this video, the video of the recording. Keep an eye on the suitcase. Very, very disturbing to watch. Take a look.
Sarah.
For everything you've done to me.
Sarah.
For everything you've done to me.
Sarah.
You.
Sarah.
You.
Sarah.
Stupid.
Sarah.
That's my name. Don't wear it up.
Sarah. I can't breathe, babe. Seriously.
Yeah, that's when you do when you choke me.
Sarah. 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 Sarah, I can't breathe, babe.
That's on you.
Sarah, I can't breathe.
It's on you.
Sarah.
Real or ransom. Might want to get video for it extra. Because I got this.
Sarah.
Real or ransom.
Sarah. Sarah, I can't breathe, babe.
Oh. That's what I feel like when you ching on me.
Sarah.
You.
Can't breathe, Sarah.
Yeah. You should probably shut the
Sarah.
Shh.
I mean, I don't even know what to say coming out of that. The man was apparently dying inside the suitcase there, and she was just recording the entire thing, and not doing anything as he continued to repeat her name. Not until the following afternoon did Boone call 911. This was in Winter Park, Florida, and tell dispatchers that Jorge Torres Jr. Was dead. Here is what she told the authorities when they arrived.
So you've had a second to kind of collect yourself. Tell it to me again. You guys were playing last night, drinking a bottle of wine.
Putting puzzles together, doing artwork.
Doing puzzles, artwork. Okay.
Had a bottle of wine and then decided to play hide and seek. So he
What
gets,
time was that? Do you remember?
I mean, I know that I was in bed probably by like what, 12:30?
Okay.
Well, I went upstairs at least and I fell asleep,
Okay.
forgetting that he was
So
in
you
the
guys
suitcase.
were playing the hide and go seek.
Yes.
And at some point you put him in the suitcase?
No, he got in the suitcase. So
Okay.
he thought it would be funny to be put in the suitcase. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to joke with you and I'll zip you up and make him, squirm a little bit, whatever it is. But then I fell asleep. I fell asleep.
Where was the suitcase?
Right
When he
where it
got in
is.
it? Right down there?
Yes.
You zipped him in there?
Yes.
Thought he would be funny, a little
It
joke.
was. We both were laughing about it.
Okay.
And then I fell asleep
Where did you fall asleep at?
upstairs.
In your bedroom?
Yes.
Okay.
Totally forgetting that he was in the suitcase still.
Okay. And then you came back downstairs?
This morning, or this afternoon, yes, when I got up.
Ballpark, what time?
12:30-ish. I was awake, but I totally forgot that he was in the suitcase. He can tell you there's a lot of things that we have been going through. Jobs,
Yeah, he did tell me. some
life,
domestic
all that
stuff.
good stuff. So I just totally
So you
forgot.
began to do CPR on him?
Yes. Yes.
About
And he
what time
gurgled,
this morning
like he
did you
gurgled.
start doing that CPR?
No, it was the afternoon. It was afternoon
the
because
afternoon?
I was awake. But then I finally decided to come downstairs at like 12:30-ish, whatever it is. And I was like, I forgot he was in the suitcase and he wasn't moving. Nothing was happening. So I unzipped it, took him out and started doing CPR on him. He was on his way over here. I called you when he got here.
Once he got here, you called us?
Yes.
Okay.
And air was coming out and he was gurgling, but I could just tell by looking at him.
But you knew how to do CPR? You were doing that on your own?
Yes.
Okay.
And then
All
the
right.
person that was on the phone with me also, I counted with him doing.
And he's got no medical? He doesn't take any
I
medication?
don't know. I don't know medical-wise. I know he doesn't take any medications whatsoever.
Okay.
The only thing, like I said, I don't know if alcohol had something to do with it, but we had a bottle of wine.
Okay. All right. I want you to sit back down because I don't want
Can I
you...
have one more sip of water,
Yeah,
please?
go.
10 Signal 29 Residential Audible 1303 Island Bay Drive.
I'll do what I can to get you a cup because I don't want you to have to keep doing that.
Maintenance should have a proper code to cancel. The indication is the front door. 32 Team motor unit on the channel.
The cups are like right there.
Okay.
My goodness. Wow. Sorry about that mishap right there. Wow. That is dangerous.
That is really sad.
That is really sad.
It's really sad. So they used to be lovers, and all of a sudden, she was really enjoying the pain of the partner. So how can somebody that you have loved before you tend to hate and become so resentful to such a person to the point of death.
I cannot believe it. I each time I watch it, I am still almost to the point of crying. I mean, for this person to just look and watch this man die, and this is a man that has shared bed with this woman. They are calling them boyfriend and girlfriend relationship, and you watch somebody die when they are yelling out their name and telling them they cannot breathe, and yet you continue to let them live like that and die. And then you make up all those stories. So when we say that lovers can turn into deadly enemies, that's what we mean. This is what we mean. The first one, no life was involved. But I tell you what, I'm pretty sure that the man who tore down his building, he has gone to the point that looks like he's dead, because who would do that? And yet he did it. And this is a similar case right here that we are seeing.
And if you listen to the woman, he said that's what you get for cheating. So like she's trying to get back to the man. She's trying definitely to get back at him. And it is a sad case. Very, very sad. Very, very sad. But that's not the end. We also have another one that we want to show. And then after that, we will discuss in general what happens. So let's see what this other one is, and then we will talk about it in a sec.
Trading his scrubs for an orange jumpsuit on Thursday, Dr. James Craig, formally charged with first-degree murder. Prosecutors say he's responsible for his wife's heinous, complex, and calculated killing. With 2 of his 6 children in court, the 45-year-old did not enter a plea, though investigators have already built an extensive case against him.
I also have a very strong philosophy that a happy team makes happy patients.
Police believe the Colorado dentist turned defendant spiked his wife Angela's protein shakes with poison, leading to her death on Saturday. In this 52-page affidavit, investigators show Craig's search history included how many grams of pure arsenic will kill a human, and top 5 undetectable poisons that show no signs of foul play. Police say an Amazon order of arsenic was delivered to his house on March 4th. 2 days later, Angela Craig was admitted to the hospital, experiencing symptoms consistent with arsenic poisoning. She was released later that day, but was hospitalized 2 more times before being admitted to the ICU last Wednesday. According to the affidavit, in the days before her death, she texted her husband, "I feel drugged." His response, "Given our history, I know that must be triggering. Just for the record, I didn't drug you." Detectives believe the dentist wanted to start a new life with his lover, an orthodontist from Texas, who flew to Colorado as his wife was dying. He told officials Angela Craig had been suicidal, a claim they call a cover-up.
If the defendant is the only one in the victim's life who thought she was suicidal, that's not going to look good for the defendant.
Now the 43-year-old mother is being remembered as fiercely dedicated to her family, her son saying his mom loved a lot of things but didn't have time for them all. She had 6 children instead.
So he's been formally charged now, Craig. So where does the case proceed from?
Wow. Wow. Again, another wow. My goodness. So this, all these pieces of news, I've seen them within the last few days. This is not history. This is coming up. I mean, one of the cases I think happened a year ago, and the court case has been resurrected now. But pretty much these are recent times. So you cannot tell me that, oh, this happened like this is back in the day. This is now in the day.
Wow.
This is now in the day.
And this Googling, people
Wow.
would just go and get information. So the dentist really figured out how much to put to drug the wife to the point that it's not detectable. So he did all this research.
He took his time.
Yeah, and really ready to kill the wife with no empathy, like nothing in the heart tells him otherwise. That is really serious.
And this is this is a man who has had this woman 6, or I should say, this woman had 6 of this man's children.
Children. Six kids.
6 kids from this
Wow.
man. And yet, when he found another lover, when he decided that it is time to let her go, instead of doing it the right way, this man decided to do something else completely different.
When should be the right time to let your wife go? So it means that they've fallen out of love. And I don't know whether they could have done something to save this marriage. But this man has really purpose in his heart to really get rid of the wife.
Yep.
Because, he has found someone else.
All right. So with that, let's talk about some of the early signs. Now, I'm pretty sure those of you who are watching, I need your comments in your everything, because we want to discuss this together. Like I said, this is not something that is normal. We all agree that I'm pretty sure if you're on the live, you're telling me that you will never do that, right? We believe you won't do that. But the sad thing is it is happening, and we don't want it to just happen to anybody. So we're going to see some of the early signs. Maybe your relationship is already heading towards this way, or somebody else you have seen is heading towards this way, but you don't know. It only becomes news when it is culminated in a deadly action. Like we see this man killing his wife, or this lady killing her boyfriend, or this other couple tearing down a beautiful home because they don't like each other, they don't love each other anymore, and decide to throw waste or throw into the ground such an expensive edifice. So some of the things we're going to talk about is what are some of the early signs that lead to toxic relationships. I don't know if you want to say anything about that, but we are going to talk about that. And I think that for us, these are not all inclusive. We may say some of them, you probably know more, but in the interest of time, we're working with time here. So we are going to list out some of the few ones that are very easy to come to mind, and we'll talk about them as we move forward. We also, as we alluded to earlier, we're going to also talk about the potential reasons why people do that, and we're going to talk about how to stop it in its tracks. If you are in a relationship and certain things are showing up, you should be able to know and then stop it right there before it gets worse. So some of the early signs, the first one you want to talk about quickly?
Jealousy. So maybe in your relationship, you started seeing your partner is becoming jealous of you one way or the other. When maybe he or she sees you, maybe he's thinking of you, maybe you are doing better in your job, you are kind of excelling more than what the other partner feels, and they feel left out, and you are doing better, maybe one way or the other. You become so jealous. And if that is creeping into your relationship, you have to watch out for it, because jealousy can lead to ideas and certain things that may come your way. So if you see in your relationship that jealousy is creeping in, you have to find a way to keep it out.
Wow, jealousy. The other thing is, apart from...
But it's so weird, before you go on to that, how can you even be jealous of your partner? How can you be jealous? So if you are together and you are one, and one is doing well in his enterprise, why should you be jealous if you considered yourself as one?
That is a good question. Why should you even become jealous? For one, we don't want to digress so much, but I believe that some people, out of their own, if you own something and it is not for you, like if in a marriage, like we are married right now, if I feel like this house we are in is mine and you have nothing and we are in this together and everything in the relationship is mine, it's not you. If you don't feel like you're a part owner, then obviously at some point you're going to become jealous. So that right there starts jealousy. And then of course, if you, as we're going to hit on later on, trust issues, if you think that your wife is always, talking to the man around work and stuff like that, jealousy in its smallest form can grow to the extent that it can lead into, but these are just the signs though. We're going to talk about why people actually do those big crimes like we saw But these are just the telltale signs.
So maybe insecurity. You're so
Insecurity
insecure. That
yes,
will lead to jealousy.
that will lead to jealousy
Because
too.
you feel like you're not loved enough, or your husband is not really taking care of you.
Yeah.
You're so insecure. And when you see him talking to the other people around you at church, at work, you feel like you're so insecure. So you're jealous.
You're jealous, yeah.
Of him or her.
Yeah. And the other thing is abuse. If you're in a relationship, or if you see a relationship which is full of abuse, whether it's verbal abuse or physical abuse or even emotional abuse, those are tell signs. I mean, it is not there yet, but if the abuse is there, some way or form, if a wife or husband disrespects the spouse to the extent that the other party feels like they are not valued, they are always being trodden down under, whether it is, through beating or through words or through some emotional means, then that is a sign of things to come in the future. You're not there yet. You're not yet enemies, but you are slowly walking from love towards the enemy mark. And so that is one thing. And then the next one is what? Disinterest.
Disinterest. You realize that all of a sudden your husband, your partner, is not interested in you anymore. Like his or her attention is somewhere else. Emotionally, you feel like you are not connected. You feel like you are not getting all that from your partner. All of a sudden, you've lost interest. So that can be an early sign that you have to watch out for.
Disinterest, like nothing about your spouse interests you anymore. All you want is you come home, you eat, and then you go to bed. Sometimes even, you wait for your wife or your husband to sleep before you go to bed. You are like, you don't have anything to do with them. It's disinterested in the relationship. Basically, you are living as roommates. That is a sign. There's nothing that binds you together. The only time you guys see each other is when you feel like you got to have sex. Then you come together on bed and you do it, and that's it. Disinterest, not interested about anything concerning your spouse. That again is a sign. It's not it yet. You haven't turned to be an enemy yet. You are still in love. You still love the person, but slowly this interest is eroding your love. And then the next one
is cheating.
Cheating.
You feel like your partner maybe has cheated on you. So that is an early sign that can lead to resentment, and that can lead to something deadly. So if your partner is a cheater or has cheated before, then there is something that you have to do about it. And the person, maybe when it comes to money, you feel like you are being cheated. You feel like the person is hoarding everything. Maybe you have bank account. The partner may keep all the money and spend your money. You feel like you're being cheated. So that can lead to resentment, and that can lead to other things.
Definitely cheating. If you feel cheated in this way, the person who is cheating you may not be the one who is thinking that they don't love, but the person who feels cheated is the one that feels like they don't have the love anymore. And so any actions that may be taken by that person. The person who is doing the cheating may not even know that it's hurting the other person. So slowly again, the one who feels cheated becomes slowly removed from love towards the line of enemy. Hatred. So love slowly turns into hate, and then you eventually become an enemy. Again, this is just a sign you are not there yet. And the next one is narcissism. And this one is a huge word, but really what it means is that full of yourself. Everything is about me. Your spouse or your husband or your wife or your boyfriend or your girlfriend, everything is about me. If it comes to doing well, it's got to be me. If it comes to dressing good, it's got to be me. If it comes to making money, it's got to be me. If it comes to helping the family, it's got to be me. Everything is about you. Everything. Your well-being supersedes everybody else. Nobody's well-being matters. It is all about you. Small fact, sometimes even the children don't matter. It is just you. You want to excel. You want to go to school. You want to get the degrees. You want to get the best jobs, forgetting about whatever the other party may also want. So that is narcissism, and I call it all about you.
Self-centered.
Self-centeredness. Good. That's another word. Being self-centered, just looking up for only your good and not the good of the other people or the other person in your relationship, even including the children, all about you. That is a sign that you're moving from love towards the journey of hate and eventually an enemy. You want to talk about the last one?
And the last one we want to talk about is secrecy. You try to hide certain things. Maybe when your husband or your partner is coming, you close your laptop. You're hiding stuff. You live in secret, like try to hide things. How much you make sure that you've opened a secret bank account and you're putting money in there. You are sending money without the other partner knowing. You are living in secrecy. So if you do that, that is a sign that this relationship can be toxic later on in life.
Toxic. Later on. It's a beginning, right? It's the beginning. And then let's move on to the next item we want to talk about. What are the potential reasons? Now we're coming to the reasons proper. Now we're coming to why people actually, some of the reasons why people actually, like the videos we saw, people kill. I mean, there's this young woman, I don't know how he got the young man into the suitcase, but I'm pretty sure he drank him a little bit. He gave him something to drink and then, told him to go in a suitcase. And then once he was in there, he zipped it up and watched and recorded him die.
I think she lied by saying that they were doing hide and seek.
Yes.
So how can you do hide and seek in the house? You put yourself in a suitcase
and then zip yourself out.
That is not true.
It doesn't work out. It doesn't work like that. So I'm from my own perspective, I think that she allegedly drank the man, gave him something to drink and talked him into going there. And then once he was in there, she zipped it up. But the key is, these are some of the potential reasons why people do that, and like also in the dentist case, good career, making the money, and yet because of cheating, because of another woman, tried and actually did succeed in poisoning a wife who had 6 of his kids. My goodness.
I'm thinking sometimes because of maybe the laws and stuff like that, because the worst you can do is to let her go. Why do you want to kill her? But maybe because of the laws that we have in this land, maybe he's thinking that the woman is going to take a whole lot from him, take a lot of money from him.
I'll tell you what.
She has like 6 kids, right?
I don't know if I think Colorado has the death penalty. Now, not only did you lose the woman, you may potentially also lose your life.
Your life.
By thinking that the woman would take everything. If you had let her live, you probably would. With a career as a dentist, what else do you need? You start your practice. If you lose everything, you start from the ground up. Just like you began, you can get somewhere again. And even if you don't have a career such as that, even if you are poor, you got to think about other means of solving problems than to kill your wife just because of what laws may be governing your area. But we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We will come back to some of the reasons why, some of the things that we can do to prevent that from happening. So we said that for potential reasons, again, jealousy, we don't want to talk much about jealousy again, but when people are continuously jealous, they do not see their wife or their spouse's success as their own, then they can go to the extent of being so jealous that they would want that person gone so that the attention will come to them. And that has happened, and it happens. We don't know what happened in this case, in these cases that we saw, but at least that can also happen. And then the next one is betrayal or trust. You want to talk about that?
Trust issue. So like if you feel so betrayed in the relationship, like you didn't get what you bargained for. You are going in and maybe you promised me or the stars and the moons and I got in and it's like, oh, I lie bad. Or whatever you promised your partner is not being realized in the relationship. You feel so betrayed. I feel like that shouldn't be even a reason to even become enemies. You can maybe tackle it together. Maybe whatever you were expecting in the relationship, you're not getting it. Or maybe the trust, you believe in this guy so much that you know that he's a hardworking person, he's that. Then you get in and you're like, oh, he's the laziest of all lazy men.
I look at this actually in a different way. I think that for betrayal is not just that. I mean, what you're saying could be attributed to expectations in a relationship, but I think for betrayal is especially when it comes to trust issues, like somebody betrays your trust, like they trust in you so much, kind of like the girlfriend who killed the boyfriend, right? She trusted the man so much that she didn't think the boy could cheat on him. I mean, cheat on her, but he cheated, and for that reason, she felt betrayed, even though she's not even married to them, But she felt that being a boyfriend, you should be trustworthy enough. You should be able to hold on to, my trust that you're not going to sleep around, and for that reason, she felt her trust was betrayed. And that led to that anger that made her able to see and watch and record a video of a man die. She felt betrayed. So I feel like betrayal is, like somebody cheated, and you never expect them to cheat because you guys were in a relationship for a long time before you even married. This guy never showed any signs of cheating. And then all of a sudden, in the marriage, you see a girl around and you hear this man is sleeping around. That is what I think may have happened. But I think, you could also say, in your own words, what you were also saying, like the expectations.
Okay.
What about the revenge, though?
Revenge. Yeah, like potential reasons why lovers become enemies. Revenge. So maybe if you want to get back at your partner, maybe he cheated, right? And you want it back. You want to get back
at them,
or back to her. You want to, maybe you also go around and cheat too. Or maybe you poison him just to get rid of him because he has betrayed you, he has betrayed your trust, and you want to revenge. You want to get back to him in the same way. So maybe you may go extra mile because of the resentment that has been built.
Definitely. So that is another huge thing that leads people to do worse things. So it may be, like she said, you did something to hurt him. You did something to hurt her, and then she's going to do something to hurt you back. But this time, she's going to even make it worse.
More.
You did this to me. I tell you what, I'm going to show you where power lies. I'm going to show you that I am this person in this relationship. And then you do worse. That from that time, you are no longer lovers. You have moved from being in love to being enemies. This is not a sign anymore. This one is revenge. So you are actually fighting. You don't love them anymore. So if you see those things, you gotta come home quickly before things get bad. All right, you gotta definitely come home. And then the other thing is selfishness and money. Selfishness. I'll start that and you go to division. So when people in a relationship become so selfish, when people think everything is for them, when people don't share what they have, if it is yours and nobody else, it doesn't matter who makes the money, but if you take ownership of everything without the other person feeling that they also have something, then obviously that can lead to a reason why a lover can become an enemy. That is simply how I would say. I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
Yeah, let's go move on. Division. If there is division in the relationship, you feel like this part is mine. This, like the one that brought down the beautiful building, because there is division. It was not united front. It's not like we are going to get a land, we are going to build, and we are going to enjoy that building together. But it's like, oh, I'm going to buy a land. Or maybe when I was coming in the relationship, I had a land. So that is mine. So the husband decided to build on the land thinking that they are married. But because of division in the relationship, it led to that destruction. So you have to, I don't want to jump ahead of myself, but if there is division in a relationship, there are so many things that will go wrong. Like, oh, this is my money. I'll take care of this. You take care of that.
You take care of that.
No, we are enjoying everything together. So why is it separate when it comes to finance or money? Why is it separate if when it comes to we are going to help your family first and I'm going to... No. The way that I was brought up is such that I have to help my family. So I'm going to
Because my family, they got in trouble. They didn't have, and they struggled to get me through school. And now I got to take care of my brother. I got to take care of my mom. I got to take care of this. So they become first instead of your spouse.
But it should be a united front.
It should be a united front.
Because
Both of you have to agree
now.
to do that.
Yeah. So
definitely.
if it's divided, it's likely that somebody is going to cheat. Somebody is going to be very secretive because of that division in the relationship.
My goodness. Then the next thing, in the interest of time, we move on to the next one is disappointment. I think that is where your point was earlier on also comes in really good. Disappointment is when people go in a relationship expecting to find something and then getting something else. My goodness.
Expectation.
Expecting to find something and then seeing something else, right? My goodness. I did not bargain for this. I thought I was marrying a man with muscles, and now he took his shirt off and he's as skinny as bones. My goodness. I thought I was marrying a rich man. He flaunted money and I thought he was rich. But all those cars he was driving, they ain't his cars. It's his father's cars. It's his brother's cars. He's not really the man I thought he was. He doesn't have anything. Disappointment, right? And then also, I thought this man was the most gentle person I've ever seen. Oh, he's so caring. And as soon as you get used to this man at home, now he's no longer the Mr. Caring man. He's now somebody else. You are disappointed. And that can bring huge problems. I don't know if you want to add anything, but I can go on and on.
Yeah, with a disappointment, maybe somebody, when you are going into a relationship, somebody has a kid somewhere. And they did not tell you that, oh, I had one child before you met me. They hide that from the partner. Then when they came together, all of a sudden another child showed up.
My goodness.
So that's a huge disappointment.
My goodness.
Maybe now the person have to act as a stepmom or a stepdad, but they didn't bargain for that. So getting in that relationship is like huge disappointment. And that can lead to maybe having less feelings, and like trust is also broken.
My goodness. That is a big thing right there. My goodness. To bring a child and not tell the person. But it's happening. I mean, we're talking as if it is not real. This is stories that have happened and continue to happen. But it may not seem like that to you. But what are the little things that come up in relationship? Disappointment. Some people not even being there. A man knows that they are impotent and they don't tell the person that they are going to marry. And boom, after the wedding, things don't happen. And then a whole lot of things begin to happen. Now, if you're a woman in this man's shoe, glamorously showing your wedding and everything, and you are not careful, you may try and poison this man to go slowly so that you... My goodness. that is the truth. Because here you said those vows that you're going to stay with this man till death do you part. And unfortunately, or for whatever reason, he or she is not there. And I mean, for she is not, she's not there. For he is not there. and so this huge, show of love and all that happened at the wedding or the marriage ceremony becomes for naught. And if you are disappointed in this manner, it is possible that if you don't take care, you will take some actions that you regret after. So those things can also lead to problems on the way. I don't know if we have another one. The last one is financial distress. You want to start with that, honey?
Financial distress. Wow. Yeah, that's a big one because all of a sudden you are financially not stable. So you feel like whatever your expenses are coming in, you're not meeting the expenses and you are being late in the payments, and you could see that things are not working well. So that distress, that stress of not being meet your expenses, can lead to people having second thoughts, having ideas and doing something else.
Yeah, definitely. So that financial distress is huge, like she said, in a lot of relationships, even strong relationships that have been tested. sometimes financial difficulties can unravel certain things, and so it is a huge thing. Now, that being said, we have had shows, about 20 shows, talking about how to overcome poverty and disease, but focusing on those 20 shows with finance. So if you haven't seen them, make sure you go back to our channel and watch all those shows. But that being said, financial distress is a huge thing that affects a lot of people's relationships. Imagine you married, everybody had a job, all right, you guys were making good money, and all of a sudden your wife or your husband loses their job and they cannot be re-employed as gainfully as before. Now there's huge distress that comes in. How do you pay your mortgage? How do you pay for your cars? How do you do that? And at some point, some people take that to the next level, because they are struggling financially. They begin to think about some ideas. Maybe if this woman wasn't there, I would probably be fine. Maybe if this woman wasn't there, all these clothes that I'm buying, I probably wouldn't even need a home. I can just live in an apartment. But because of this woman and her kids, maybe, so those ideas begin to creep in. And if you act on them, you are not only living your position as a lover, you are gradually becoming an enemy of this woman because of your problems with finances. And that is where we are seeing that these things are potential things that can make somebody kill, just like we saw in those videos that we saw earlier. So financial distress is huge. Tested marriages, stronger relationships have been broken down when financial adversity or when financial difficulties set in. So we have to make sure that we don't allow that to happen. But in the interest of time, we'll move forward because I think we have some other reasons and certain things that we can do. So we're going to talk about what can be done to prevent some of these deadly results from happening. If you are in a relationship, if you are married, if you are thinking about marrying, you are not married yet, what are some of the things that you should guard against so that you do not turn from being a lover into a deadly enemy? Wow. My goodness, that is huge. So that is what we are going to talk about. And the first three that we're going to talk about, we're going to start, honey.
We have to value ourselves. I value my partner. He valued me. If I cherish and value him or her, there is no way that if the person we are going through crisis on the part of being united, right? I think that's the second point. So if I value you so much and there is a problem in the relationship, because I cherish and value you, I'm going to make sure that we are going to stay together and fight and move along together, and I'm going to value you more than money.
More than money.
Maybe we've lost our house. Maybe we got repossession of our cars and we don't have the luxury cars, or we are not living in that neighborhood anymore. Because I value you, I'm not going to have second thoughts because I put value in you. I know that we built that together. We've lost it, but we can make it. It can happen again. So because of I'm going to value you is definitely going to help me overcome these ideas or becoming enemies because we've lost something regarding
my goodness. My goodness. That is definitely important. That is very important. Valuing people. These days people love money more than life. And the Bible says, the good book says that what? The love of money, for the love of money is the root of all evil. Not money itself. Money is good. As long as I want more money. If you have much to spare, you can give me. Because I want more money. But I don't want to love money beyond human beings. Human beings must always be on top of money because money is just a medium of exchange. You cannot use human beings to pay anything. Human beings are more valuable to us than what you can use money for. You can use money to buy the whole world, but you cannot buy a life. And so let's put more value on our spouses, on the people in our lives, no matter how wrong they may be, and no matter how disappointed, as we said, they may be, they are still living, human, breathing beings. And so we should put more value on them than money. That way, we will continue to move on in our relationships. So if you put money first, I'm telling you, you're going to come to a point in your life where money will become more important and you can easily dispense or put your wife or husband some way just because of money. And this is why some people kill people for life insurance, because they would rather get the money that will come on that person than to live with that person and enjoy life with them, because they have misplaced priorities. They have misplaced values. They value money more than the life of their spouse. And that is huge. That is something that we should guard against. The next one, in the interest of let's move on, is unity of purpose and alignment. Start with that. I love that too.
Yes. So if you are united, I think I alluded to it a little bit. If we are aligned, if our vision as a family is aligned, there is no way that your interest is not going to be my interest. There is no way that I'm going to lose interest in what you're doing, because I know that whatever we are doing is for a common purpose. So we are in this together. We are in this together. You are united. And I know that the Bible says that one can bring down what?
1,000.
1,000. But two can bring down 10,000.
My goodness. My goodness.
If we have a common goal, there is no way that you are going to look somewhere else. It's like the last video that we watched. The dentist was interested in someone else. They were not united in bringing their family together. A family of 6, including the husband and wife, is what? 8. And how come that your interest has gone so low that you are looking somewhere else? They were not united. So having a common goal and us striving to reach that goal will keep you together. So if your partner is slacking or falling behind, because you are united, because you are yoked together, I'm holding your hand, you are holding my hand, we are going together. So there is no way that you are going to fall apart or fall on the side of the road and I'm just going to keep going because I have my own desire and wishes, which doesn't align in yours. So we have to be together and work for the same purpose.
My goodness. We have to have a unity of purpose. Now, unity of purpose, as she has said, what I will add on to that is, I'm a guy, so let me use this analogy, right? If you know car mechanics, you call something alignment. When your car's alignment is off, some of the tires are pointing in opposite directions. And because your tires are pointing in the wrong way, when you drive them like that without the alignment done, you see that the wearing of the tires become uneven. So one tire may wear off quickly while the other tire is still there. And it will wear off in a way that you cannot actually use it. And as a matter of fact, if your car's alignment is off, sometimes when you ride, you hear bump, 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 because the tire is being destroyed. And that is exactly what we are trying here to bring into this. Align your views, your ideas, your goals together. When I see or hear couples talking about, me, I save here, me, this is my goal. And they are, one person is saying, I'm going to retire in Florida, okay? The other person say, I'm going to retire in Ghana, okay? The other person say, I'm going to retire in New York, okay? It is good. But the point is, what will happen during that time, during your retirement? Are you going to agree to be apart from each other? So what you would probably want to do is to align your goals. So if one person wants to go to the place where it is very hot and the other person wants to stay in a place where it's very cold, maybe you can come into agreement and stay in a warmer place. So in between, from New England to Florida, let's move then to South Carolina, somewhere not too hot, not too cold. So we have both given up a little bit of what we would naturally want, just to make sure that we are still together. That is aligning your goals and aligning your dreams. Now, if you do that, then you are going to continuously live with love, and you never turn as an enemy. Because if not, then you are not united and your purposes are separate. Everybody has their own goal. I'm going to build a mansion here in this village, on this place. And then this person says, I'm also going to do this business. Everything is off. Everybody's doing their own thing. And yet you come together and you live under the same room. And not just that, you sleep together, you're having everything else together, but your goals and your dreams are completely wide apart. My goodness.
That's why the Bible said that the two shall be one.
Oh my.
So
My
if
goodness.
you are
I
one,
think that needs a home for that. The two shall be one. Yes.
so if you are one, there is no way that one person will be divided, right? Like my interest is here and the other interest is over there. Because you are one, the interest is one.
It's one.
The vision is one.
It's one.
The purpose is one.
One.
Because you are united. So if it doesn't work or if you can't agree, like you have to compromise. You have to get to the middle. So like maybe when you are in the little warmer place, you can take a vacation in the cold place, maybe once a year. And you can go to the tropics once a year. And at least you are getting each other's interest and desires. But to say that, no, I'm going to do it my way, that's when the problems start. So you have to be one purpose, one-minded, and move forward together.
My goodness. Now, if those things are not enough to help, then we suggest counseling. And I think there's actually more stuff that we are going to also talk about here. There's also another set of 3 things that can potentially protect you from becoming an enemy to your lover. And the other thing is to escape abuse. Now, I will start off with that. What I mean by to escape abuse is literally telling you to run away from abusive situations. If your husband or your wife is beating you up, you don't wait until they kill you, because if they start beating, the next thing is they're going to hurt, and after hurt is death. All right? It will start with a small slap, then it progresses to a kick, then after a kick, a stomp, and then after that, a knife, and God forbid, a gun. And then if they don't do that, like in the dentist, doing it, smartly, as if, I don't want to think he wasn't smart enough, but trying to poison this person, all because of what? All because you have another woman in you want out. So get counseling. If there is there's an abusive situation, get out. For counseling, it's good for the beginning, but if you repeat, escape abuse. As my mother would say, Margaret Assembly would say that portion, they will give you the permission to divorce. The pastors will allow you to divorce because they don't want any woman to die because of beating or poisoning, or for that matter, any sort of abuse. So that is that one. You want to add more? We should go.
Let's go on.
The next one is what? To earn and give trust. In order to stay lovers and not become an enemy, you have to earn and give trust. We always talk about trust, but we forget about the fact that trust is earned.
Yeah.
Trust is earned.
Especially if you cheat, if you're not trustworthy, or there are things that you do. Maybe you stay on your computer and do certain things, and maybe your wife or your husband caught you doing it. And you've lost that trust. You have to earn it.
You have to earn it back. It's not automatic, right?
So if you go out and you are not coming back home right away, the best thing you can do is like, oh honey, it's going to take a little bit because I'm doing grocery, I'm doing something before I get home. So after doing that over and over, then you are earning the trust back. But you can't just say that trust me without any works.
Trust me, I I'm not like that. Well, you did something that is not kind of trustworthy, so you got to prove back your trust. But definitely, you have to earn and give trust also. You trust others when you want them also to what? Trust you. And then you will continue to remain lovers rather than to turn into enemies. And the next one is to forgive. Learn to forgive. If you do not forgive, that is when revenge comes in. Because if you don't forgive, if you harbor things, then you are obviously going to come to a place of either bitterness or resentment and revenge. And those are all signs of enemies, not lovers. Not lovers. So,
and sometimes too, you can forgive, but I don't know, our subconscious is such that it's hard to forget. It's okay, but just forgiving the person, take the pain out of whatever had happened. So because you've forgiven the person, when you remember what the person has done, that pain it's not there anymore because you found in your heart to forgive. So we are not perfect. Nobody is perfect, and nobody has married an angel. We are all humans.
We are all human.
So we it's like the tendency of us hurting or offending one another is very high. But we have to learn to forgive. We don't want to hoard all the bad things that your partner has done against you. And last year you did me that's the same. You repeated it and you keep counting. If you keep counting and hoarding, it's likely that it's going to turn to bitterness and resentment.
But honey, if they keep doing it, you should probably count. Don't you have to?
And keep reminding them.
And keep reminding them, right? But yes, like she said, to forgive is divine. I mean, if you enter into the realms of forgiveness, you are doing stuff that is divine. And I think that is what is expected of all of us. And especially for the person who you call your spouse, you got to be able to forgive, you know. I know in scripture, we say there's only one sin that, you know, I don't think it says only one sin, but it says that we should learn to forgive our spouses. But you are allowed to divorce somebody if they they cheat, right? That one everybody knows, right? But idolatry, yeah. So it is hard to forgive certain things, but like we saying, even in other life or issues, you know, whether it is trust issue, money issues, maybe they stole your money. It happens, man. It happens. Yeah, maybe they stole your money. You had some savings, and before you knew, this man had used that money as a down payment for his car or whatever. But whatever it is, you still have to learn to forgive, because that's the closest person to you. After your parents, there's nobody closer than your spouse. And so learn to forgive, and that will prevent you from becoming an enemy. You will remain lovers. And so the last two there is, the first one is to weigh the consequences of your action before you take any action. No matter all these things we have said, you know, we've talked about a lot of stuff. But if you cannot do any of these things and you want to take any action, we encourage you to take stock of the consequences of your actions. It is deep. I mean, to think about it, back to the videos we watched. If this girlfriend who zipped up the boyfriend in a suitcase knew that her story wasn't going to add up at some point, she was going to get caught, she probably wouldn't have killed this man if she had thought about it. Now, I don't know if that state has a death penalty, but if it does, she probably could be put to death. You know, if it's life imprisonment, she probably would be put in life imprisonment. It's now alleged, as the lawyers say, but the evidence is on video. So take stock of the consequences of your actions when your spouse does something. I know some human beings can make you so angry. You know, we are not angels. You know, we are talking like we are. No. We fight too sometimes, but I don't want to go to the extent that I'm so angry that I hit you with the bat. You know, you have to, when you pick up the bat, you got to remember, if I hit you with the bat, if I cannot calm myself down, if I cannot control my anger, if I cannot get counseling for this anger issue, if I cannot do any of those things, if I pick up the bat to hit somebody, I got to remember the consequences. I'm going to go to jail, probably end up life in prison, or probably be put to death, you know, because of the consequences of what I did. So that will, most of the time, temper you down or calm you down when you are so angry. If the love is gone, you know, anybody that would do that has completely lost the love. If the love is gone and you are taking any action, remember the consequences. And I hope that the love doesn't go away after looking at all these things we've taught you. And honey, if you want to add something or go to the divorce, it's up to you.
So like if you get to that point that you feel like they have broken the trust to the point that they've crossed the line, and you can't find in your heart to forgive and forget, and you have become so resentful, and like you've hated the partner to the point of killing, then the best thing is what? Just divorce or separate. Because it's better you do that than to stay in the relationship and thinking that you're going to be outsmart the other person by killing them secretly. And when you are found, definitely you're going to go to jail too. And even if you are not caught, it's likely that the guilt that will stay with you will be so heavy on you to a point that you may never ever be happy again in your life. So the best thing is like you can walk. It's okay. It's better to stay single or let go of this marriage or this relationship than to get to the point of killing the other partner because of the resentment.
My goodness. It is better to stay single than to be a murderer or than to hit somebody, than to do anything that you would regret later on. If anything at all, just separate yourself from the situation when that anger comes. But I trust that if you are watching us, you are never going to go to that extreme. But we just have to bring it out there because we know that sometimes, like I said, human beings can get a rage. We can get into rage. Something can happen, especially some of the men. If a man sees that somebody is, with their wife, they can pull out a gun right there because they know that should not happen. But when you pull that gun, remember the consequences. Why don't you just divorce them, get yourself a couple of women instead of just dying on one? Yeah, I mean, if that is what pains you, if they cheated with one, get two and then divorce them. You can be sleeping around. I mean, I'm saying it lightly, but I don't want us to move to the place of anger, rage, and violence, because that is what these people did. Somebody actually, I can't imagine this woman watching and recording. If you just joined us on the live, make sure you go back and see the beginning of our show. We showed this video of a woman taping and talking back at a dying boyfriend because of anger, because the boyfriend had cheated on them. Don't go to that extent, no matter what. Calm yourself down and tell yourself that I'm better than this. If anything, I can let this person go. I am able to handle this business. I'm man, I'm strong, I'm woman. I can deal with this. Let that thing go. There are so many people out there that may like you and love you more than that person that you feel had cheated on you. And so don't do that. Don't hurt anybody because incidentally, you'll be hurting yourself. Now she's in deep trouble. She's in deep trouble. You cannot outsmart the law these days. the DNA, the forensics, the electronics,
the
Googling, whatever it is. Even if you don't Google and you find the information, they will trace you. They will find your fingerprints. They will find your DNA. They will find the communications, the cell phone towers. Unless the police say that they don't want to catch the person, most murders or most accidents that are called accident are found out later on when the perpetrators are even still alive. It may take a while, but you're going to pay for it. And I hope that if you're watching us, you don't get to that extent because of rage. Don't let any man put you under that undue pressure of having to, end their life or even your own life. Some people too, they end their own life. We didn't even think about it. Some people, my husband has done this. Me, I can't live anymore. And they drink poison or they shoot themselves. My goodness. If your husband or wife could not do the right thing, you got to live to do the right thing. You don't do the worst thing because they did the wrong thing and they're enjoying themselves and you're going to die for that. No, Christ died for you. You don't need to die for them again. And you're dying, don't make them, pay for it. You are destroying your own life.
And I think some situation like the person will kill the spouse, kill the kids, and kill himself.
And kill themselves too.
Yeah.
So sad. So sad. So sad. But again, don't be pushed into any such a situation. Look back and check all the telltale signs or whatever it is. See the symptoms. If you can nip it in the bud right now, stop it from getting that far. And if you cannot, like we said, divorce is not something we encourage. But if that will save your life and the lives of your children, I believe strongly that God will agree with you to do that because we don't want anybody going to their grave because of somebody else's, evil act. No way. We don't want that to happen. So we want to see your comment. We want to see all that you also have to say and then tell us what you are thinking. If you are joining us on the live, make sure you click the subscribe button, the like button, and the share button, just so that we will see more people watching and on this life and health show. At the moment, we are going to close, but we are thinking that your comments are coming. We see some thumbs up. If you haven't done a thumbs up already and you are watching, please do us that justice. Do that and let's share this together. And we are going to meet up again and do more because of what we think we have to share. We know that there's a huge stack of content that we are going to share. And again, we are the Ortins, and not perfect, but conversational. We'll bring our ideas, and we are hoping that you are going to share yours with us. Don't just be an onlooker. Yesterday we went to a funeral, and at least I counted 2 people who said, I've been watching your videos, and I didn't even know. Yeah. They are not subscribing. They are not liking it. And I didn't know. Really? So
quiet observers.
Quiet observers. So hit the like, or hit the subscribe. As you can see on the bottom of the video, on those 2 channels, you can subscribe and you will see our videos. If you are following us or watching from Facebook, you can follow us. Click the follow on Dayspring Life and Health channel, or also on the Life and Health show, and let us enjoy conversations, Sunday afternoon conversations together. And as we said, I see some people doing the like button. Thank you for that. That is great. That is great. Do the follow and the like, and then let us grow together. We're going to continue to bring you interesting content on health and life issues. You say that this is the Life and Health show. And as we say, beloved, we wish above all things that you prosper and be in
good health,
even as your soul prospers. Thank you.
Thank you
for
sharing
your day with us. Thank you.